Hey guys, Harry here from the Art Gear Guy. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today, for all you marker artists out there, I have the best, what I consider to be the best marker pad on the market so far. This marker pad is from Ohuhu. Now, a lot of people might be thinking, what is the difference between a marker pad and a sketch pad? It's only been really quite recently that companies have started to specifically cater for marker artists. And what I mean is coming out with pads like this, sketchbooks like this, that have got paper in them suitable for markers. And not only just suitable for markers, but actually devised for marker artists to be able to blend, layer, and all these other things without feathering and without bleeding going through to the next page or the page under that. Alcohol markers are most of them are quite juicy. There's quite a lot of ink will come out of them, especially when you're blending, and when that happens on a lot of sketchbooks or markers, marker pads, there will be a little bit of feathering, and there will most certainly be a lot of bleeding coming through on the back of the page, and sometimes going through to the page underneath that. I'm going to show you here how this marker pad reacts, and before I get into this actual review, Ohuhu have given me a code which will allow the Art Gear Guide subscribers and followers to get 10% off not just this new marker pad, but any Ohuhu products for the next month. So you will have a month from today, and this 10% code will go on. Now I'll have all the details down below in the description, but the code is Art Gear Guide 10, not the Art Gear Guide, just Art Gear Guide 10. You put that in and it'll give you 10% off whatever it is that you want to get from the Ohuhu website. So first thing is, you can see here this it's quite a big pad. They also have a ring binder pad. I know some people prefer those over this like glue. This one here has got a glue binding on here, but what I love about this particular pad is you can open it right out and you can see there that it sits completely flat. So if you wanted to do like a full page spread. Now I know with these type of glue based spine pads, this is the drawing that I've done on this. If you want, you can see the speed drawing that I'll have a video of up on YouTube as well. But if you see along here, this is the glue that keeps these pages together, which is common in many different pads, sketchbooks and stuff like that. Thing is that I found with this, I've opened and closed this many times, and sometimes with these type of glue bindings, the pages will fall out fairly easily. That's not the case with this one. You can rip the pages out. So if I wanted to rip this page out, say I'd done some artwork on it, you can rip them out, but they're not. It doesn't come out super easy. It's not like it just falls out. So they're well placed in. Now, the pages themselves, as you can see here, these are £90 pages. So let me try to equate that, or give you a little bit of a perspective on what it's like. So if you've used like the Strathmore Bristol Vellum or Bristol Smooth 300 series, those pages are £100, and you'll know if you've used those. They're quite thick and robust pages. These ones are just a little bit thinner than that, with coming in at £90. This sketchbook itself is 9 inches by 12 inches, so 9 inches here, 12 inches along the top. Just going to put that page to the side. Like I say, as you can see here, I've done this manga drawing. I thought this would be quite appropriate, just simply because I love doing manga drawings when I'm using markers, and at this point I hadn't used my markers in ages, and so I really enjoyed the prospect of doing another little manga drawing. But anyway, you can see here that this is the drawing that I've done using, and because I wanted to show that it's not, this book isn't just excellent for Ohuhu markers, I used Copic markers on here as well, just to show that any markers that you have are going to behave exactly the same way on this paper. So this is the page that I've done the drawing on, and you can look at the back here. So there's nothing has come through. Now I'm going to, and I'm just double checking that is one page. So nothing at all has come through here on the back. Now I'm going to show you. I'm going to do a little bit of blending. Ohuhu wanted me to, so they thought, when I was talking to my contact at Ohuhu, they thought that the ink may need a bit more time to dry on the sketchbook, like around 10 or 15 seconds, due to our prevent bleeding technique. There may be some minor compromises needed. Feel free to share your honest review with your audience based on your experience. It's completely fine. That was the message I got from Ohuhu. I have not experienced that. I guess what they were trying to say was that when you apply the ink, give it like seconds, 10 seconds or something like that there to dry before you start applying more on it. I didn't find that at all. Whenever I was doing this drawing, I was just cracking on and I was applying layers and layers, and there was no issues whatsoever. As you can see, you can clearly see here, there's no bleeding. Now, for those of you that may not know, when we talk about feathering, what we mean is when you bring the brush nib or the fine nib or the chisel nib along, say like your line work here, sometimes on cheaper papers the ink will feather. It'll come out just like feathering, like little lines, and they will overcome the line work. Now, a lot of you can get around that a lot of the times just by simply just doing a thicker line work over the artwork once you finish, but it can still be a pain in the backside when it does feather. So there is absolutely no feathering on this paper whatsoever. And then when we talk about bleeding, we're talking about, like I said, the ink coming through onto the next page, and in some cases with a lot of marker pads, it'll not only just come through on the back, it'll seep through onto the page underneath. Now, there are ways of getting around that. You know, you can put another page under here. Ohuhu actually brought out a sketchbook a while ago, and those sketchbooks came with like little plastic sheets that you could put underneath the paper. But obviously now they've come up with this paper that you know, you don't need anything like that. You can just work away on the paper. Essentially what happens is the marker paper itself has a very, very thin film on top of it. It must be like a chemical, a spray. I'm not 100% sure what it is, but I know that they all come with like a film on top. That allows the marker artist, like they said, seconds to, when you put your marker ink down and you want to start blending, it allows you to move the ink about a little bit. If you were to try using markers on, say a watercolor paper, a hot press watercolor paper, which is quite smooth itself, and say it's 100% cotton, so a really good 100% cotton, £140 watercolor paper, hot pressed, you would find that when you put your marker onto that surface, it will absorb the marker really fast, and it doesn't give you any time to do a lot of blending. You've got to be really super quick to have a couple of markers with the caps off ready to start blending fast, because of the way the paper absorbs the water, because that's what that paper's designed for. It's designed to absorb watercolors and stuff like that. Marker paper is completely different. It sits on the surface just for a while before it starts drying and gives you that time that you need to do the blending. So I'm going to show you what I mean. Okay, so I have some printer paper here, just ordinary printer paper, because some sketchbooks and things like that on the cheaper side of things are of a similar quality to printer paper. But the reason why I'm using this is so that I can illustrate feathering and bleeding, just to anybody that's unsure of both the concepts that can plague marker artists. So I'm just moving the pad to the side there, and you can see that this page here is from the Ohuhu book. So you can see yourself, it's much bigger than a little bit bigger than the printer paper. So let's see. So I'm just going to apply some line work here. There. So I've just applied some line work, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to zoom in here. Okay, so there we are on the so if I wanted to get really close to this line, you can see here the tip of the brush. This is actually an Ohuhu marker, but you can see how fine the brush nib is. And I'm going to show you on the other paper how fine of a line I can get with this brush nib. But because this is marker paper, as soon as I touch the paper, you will see the feathering happen. Now you can see there how thick that line is. It's quite thick, and let me see if I can just, I know I'm shaking about there, sorry guys. There, I think that's as close as it's going to get. I'll take a photograph of it as well, but you can just see there feathering gone over the side of the line work, and that's what we mean by feathering. And all it is the way that the paper absorbs the way that the paper absorbs the ink. It pulls it in and just spreads it out a little bit. Now, in terms of bleeding, so this is what we're talking about here. Let me just zoom back out again. So that's the original line that we done, and then you can see here it's gone over the it's gone on through to the back, onto the page below it. Let's see if it's gone on to another page. No, it hasn't gone on to that page, but the page that was underneath, it's gone on to there and it's bled through the back. So that's what we're talking about with feathering and bleeding. Now, as marker artists, you don't want that. You don't want feathering. You want to be able to get close up to your line work without the ink going over it. And ideally, you don't want to have to be putting stuff underneath your page to prevent it from bleeding through onto the next page or even behind it and stuff. So that's why I say this marker and this marker pad and this paper is amazing. So let's do another little bit of a line work thing here. I'll do it a little bit further up. Okay, so I've done the line work. Now, when I was saying to you about how thin you can get, I can get the a line from the Ohuhu marker. This is what I'm referring to. So I'll have to zoom in again here just slightly. Okay, so you can see there that the line I've got from applying the nib here is much thinner than the line I got here, and that's due to the feathering. So you can see there, and that's due to the feathering on the printer paper as opposed to this paper here from Ohuhu. And what it's doing is it's allowing the marker, the nib of the marker, to accurately place ink on the area that you want without feathering, and it's obviously not going through to the other side. So let's go up to the line work here. I'm putting a lot more pressure down here this time. Hopefully there's going to be a lot more ink coming out of it. But you can see there it's not feathering over the line. It's perfect. It's exactly where I want it to be, and it's not going over that line. Also, as well, unlike the printer paper, it hasn't come through to the other side. Let me zoom out. So you can see there it hasn't come through. Now, that's just a very simple application of a marker. Let me do a little bit of blending. So, unfortunately, I don't have enough Ohuhu markers to blend. You know, I don't have a big collection of Ohuhu markers. So for this, I'm going to have to use some Copic markers, but it's still going to show you the ability of the paper. So I'm just going to do a bit of blending, and we'll see where it takes us. Let's hope that these markers work, because I hardly use Copic markers now because they're so bad. So you can see here, I'm just starting off the way any marker would when they're blending second colours. Yeah, that one's not working. Excellent. Another marker dried out. I think this is going to be too. It's too far up the scale. Let me get some different colours, because that mark is, and this is the problem I have with so many of my Copic markers. That's a sketch marker. That's £6, and that's useless now. Okay, I've got some yellow here. Let's see if this works. So again, just the same thing. Just flicking the marker out. You can see there how much ink is going down. It's quite a lot. And then come in with the next colour, which is the Y35. And then come in with the last colour. And just carry it on. Then the final colour, just go back over it. And that gives you a pretty seamless blend of 3 different colours there. So the ink, you could see the level of ink that was coming through under the paper because it was actually wet. You could see the wetness of it. And look, nothing on the back, nothing on the other page. There was a lot of ink there on that, a lot of scrubbing. Ordinary marker papers would have, at the very least, bled through onto the back of the paper, but there's nothing. There's not even a single trace of it there. So, in my opinion, of all the marker papers that I have tested, and I've tested a lot of them, by far, this is the best paper I have used for my markers, in the sense that there's no bleeding, there's no feathering or anything like that. So let me see if I can do a few Ohuhu colours here for blending. Okay, so I've got a few blues here. They're not really from the same colour family, so I'm just going to have to do my best. So same principle here, just do a little bit of blending. Hopefully I'll try and zoom in here and see if you can see just how much ink goes down onto the paper here. You should be able to see it pull up. So you can see there I'm doing a little bit of scrubbing. You can see there the darker bit, I'm pulling it out and just feathering off, and then I'm coming in with the next. You can see there it's not really from the same colour family, but like I say, I don't have a huge collection of Ohuhu markers, unfortunately. And then the next one is this. Again, you can see the ink here just sitting here. It's still wet. It's sitting there long enough, allowing me to pull it out and work with it. And then the final colour here. Finally, just work it all back in again. You can still see there that it's the dark patches is it sat on top of the paper. And then the lightest one. You can still see it. It's still sitting there just waiting. It really, really is. If you're a marker artist, you'll understand just how good this paper is. Now, I know that doesn't look like a blend because the colours aren't far enough apart, but you can see in any case that it's still a little bit wet there. It's just drying up now for me. But hopefully the camera was able to pick up just how saturated the paper got. And I don't mean saturated in terms of saturation colour. I'm talking about wetness from the ink. And again, let me just show you. I might need to zoom out a little. No. So you can see there on the back of the paper, absolutely nothing. And nothing down on the other side of that paper either. So absolutely outstanding paper. I'm so happy that Ohuhu have brought this paper out. And like I said, there's different size pads, and if you prefer the spiral bound pads, they have those available as well. Same paper, just different spine. So if this is something that you're interested in, you'd like to go out and get yourself one, like I said, so around about the 20th of June, the code will run out. But the code is ArtGearGuide10, and that will get you 10% off anything from Ohuhu. I don't get any commission or anything like that. It's just 10% off for Art Gear Guide viewers and subscribers. And like I say, it's not just these pads. It's anything at all that you buy from Ohuhu, you get 10% off. So I think that's great. And thank you so much, Ohuhu, for giving the Art Gear Guide followers and subscribers a little bit of money off any of the products that they want to buy from you. Because any chance you can get a little bit of money off things, it's excellent. And so thank you very much, Ohuhu, for doing this. And that's it. If you've got any questions about the pad, about what I've shown you here, or anything like that, please leave them down in the comments section. If you use markers and you have used lots of different pads, let me know the pads that you've used. And maybe if you've used a pad that is similar to what I've shown you here, let me know what it is, so I can perhaps get myself one and test it. But so far, out of all of the pads I've used, by far this one is best. And this one here has 60 sheets in it as well. So 60 sheets, each sheet £90, no bleeding, no feathering. Absolutely outstanding paper. And like I said to you at the beginning as well, if you wanted to do like a big double spread, you could do. It just opens up perfectly. It's really, really good. Obviously, I'm not sure about the spinal bound one. Obviously, when you open it up, you're not going to be able to do a double spread because it's going to have the spirals. But nevertheless, some artists prefer that format of marker pad, and Ohuhu have actually just made sure that it's available for you if that's what you like. So don't forget, leave some comments down below if you're interested, if you've used any marker pads like this. If you're a marker artist and you've been looking for a really good marker pad, let me know in the comment section down below. Also, don't forget, you can follow me on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter if you want to know or see any photographs of working. Also, you can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Those platforms, I put up photographs of Coda, my dog, the husky, some of the family, that type of thing. It's just a little bit more personal. And I also put up images of work in progress shots of artwork that I might be working on. And when I finish a review, I also post them on those platforms as well, so that you can get notifications of them. So follow me on those platforms as well if you would like to. And I also have a Patreon channel, and in the next couple of weeks I've been putting together a brilliant course on Patreon, which all my Patreon subscribers will obviously have access to. I'll have a link for the Patreon channel down below. You can go across and take a look, because there's a lot of tutorials over there, like real-time tutorials over there in any case. But like I say, in the next couple of weeks I'm going to have this really good course, really comprehensive course for people wanting to get started in coloured pencils, right down from talking about the different papers that you could use, what each paper will bring to you as a coloured pencil artist, the different accessories that you might want to be using as a coloured pencil artist, the different pencils, how to use them. And then at the end of that, I've got a simple piece of artwork where I talk you through about things like value, how important value is to give your artwork form and depth. All that type of stuff will be included in the course. And like I said, the link for that will be down below. So thanks very much, guys. Look forward to seeing you again in the next video. Bye.